you're listen. It's you're doing the same thing, especially for me. Like I said, I hate to lose.
Right.
I hate to lose more than I like to win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sore loser.
Right. Same.
So when you have any little doubt or something goes wrong in camp, like okay, for instance, said, and to his defense, he had a lot of injuries. His elbows were bothering him before the COVID left fight. He never said one word to me. He broke
Really?
his rib, yeah. So I find out from the massage therapist that his rib was messed up after the fight. I might say, what? He's like, I don't want to say nothing. So
Mm.
that's not knowing and then when you have injuries and stuff in every camp, there's something that happens, right?
Right.
So you have those doubts, like what if that happens? What if he can't throw his left hand? What if he can't do this? So those
Right.
doubts are there,
Mm.
but typically once we get to the fight, those thoughts are gone. It's just work now.
Right.
It's like, all right, we're here now. Like, tell him what he needs to hear. So the thoughts are beforehand.
He is the former WBC, USABC light heavyweight champion. Checkmate. The former USBA light heavyweight champion. Checkmate.
Final
And the
round.
former WBC Continental America's light heavyweight champion.
Checkmate. Final
He
round.
is your host, Cedric Agnew.
Can I get to the yeah?
Yo, y'all know what it is. It's this, hey. This was a must. As I gave y'all my backstory in the first episode, I'm saying this episode was definitely a must because you don't have the completion of my career and my backstory without this great man beside me. And we're gonna run down some accolades, but he trained multiple world champions. Started at a young age training world champions. Also, he's still a young trainer in the game, a future, and you can quote me on that, a future Hall of Famer. Man, I can go on and on and on and on. But with the great fights that I had, with the great fights that the other champions had that he done trained, and the great legacy that he's still implementing in his boxing game, I wouldn't be me if this man right here wasn't present in my boxing career. So once I hit 11-0, everybody know my career. I came down to Houston, and this man here, you know what I'm saying, led me to world title challenges, you know what I'm saying, multiple times. So, without further ado, you know what I'm saying, hey, great guest on the show, Mr. Bobby Benton, you know what I mean?
Thanks for having me.
Definitely.
Okay.
So we gonna get to it.
I wanted to start it off on like a personal level. I see you started training at 18. But like, what was the young Bobby who walked the halls of Stratford High like?
I hated school. I hated every second of it. So I did as much as I could just to get by. I knew the first week of school what class I was going to take in summer school.
Mm.
So
So what, like, because I hated school as well. My daughter despises school. We had to homeschool her. There was, I had my insecurities. I had the buck teeth, didn't have the nice clothes, and, back in them days, people were ranking on you and stuff like that. So that's what kind of like stemmed from my dislike. What do you think it was? Just the learning aspect to you? Why you disliked it?
I don't like being told what to do.
All right.
So that was the biggest thing for me. And then I literally so my daughter had some awards the other night. She goes to Stratford too. And when I walked in, I had that feeling again, like, man, this sucks. So that was part of it. But I mean, school's not for everybody.
Right.
So I don't mind. I'll bust up concrete. I'll do some hard work. I'll cut grass. I'm not scared to do any of that.
Right.
I'd rather do that than sit in a classroom.
Okay. So, like, you get into training at 18. I heard you had one amateur fight, and then your father didn't want you to fight. So like at that age, you're still kind of like trying to figure yourself out. How is it that you knew like this is my? I mean, because you've been doing this. I mean, the years is numerous. How did you know this was your path?
I didn't know.
Mm.
I knew I'm competitive, and I hated to lose, but and I made a bunch of mistakes. I had to learn. I had to learn the process of it. And if you don't take from your loss is what you know what I'm saying. If you don't learn from those, you're not going to get any better. So I hate to lose too. That was the biggest thing. So starting with the amateur team, I was training them because I was around a bunch of pros. It's been over 50 world champions trained in this gym.
Right.
So, and a lot of great trainers, but the amateur system was different from the pros. And I was training guys like pros, and we were losing fights. So I had to go watch the good amateurs and see what they were doing. And then we started to win some amateur fights, and from there transitioned into the pros.
Well, so this was so I was on your Instagram, and I see you have this likable, comical side to you, the MC Hammer dancing, and do you think that aspect of you is what helps you with becoming such a great trainer and getting these
Could be part of it, yeah. I mean, I'm I mean, life's supposed to be fun, right? So
for sure.
that's my thing. Is like I'm not gonna. There's some stuff that's serious, but you still gotta live life. So
Most that. Okay.
I like pranks. I like messing with people. So that's fun for me.
All right. I also see I like how you do the hats, man, like and the shirts, and you'll like do your own little take for Main Street, boxing. Whose idea was that to like I seen one, it was like I'm not gonna mention the burger chain, but like I think that's so creative and
My partner, he does the MMA. He trains all the MMA guys. Bob Perez. That was his idea.
that's
To
dope.
do the Whataburger. We made
Yeah.
it Main Street. Yeah,
Yeah, I seen one was like the Wu Tang.
yeah,
That's dope. That's dope.
yeah. We've done a bunch of them.
Okay, so being a trainer, I see you're a father of 4 kids, right?
Yep.
And being a trainer to world champions, you got 3 boys. None of them got that bug.
No, and I'm glad.
No, why no?
Just because listen, it's the same reason my dad didn't want me to fight. It's a small percentage of people make it.
Right.
Really, really small percentage. There's only a few people making real money in boxing. So
Mm,
it's not easy. And it's not the like the fighting part of it doesn't really. It's just that's part of competing, but just the business side of it is it's
yeah.
hard. It's terrible. So
Yeah, we were talking to Sean, the amazing
Oh, yeah.
McCalman, and he mentioned on that the business side of it, man. It could be from an outsider looking in, it's like, man, how do you keep doing it? You give a great performance against a fighter, and then it's like you can't even get no fights. So yeah. Um, so Mr. Bill, Mrs. Barber, your parents, people that know them, what would they say are some things in you that mirror your parents,
uh,
or that you see in your kids, for instance?
I think my dad was the same way. He didn't like to lose, so
Right.
that's part of that. My mom was just a beast. She always had our back, even if we were wrong.
Right.
She had our back. She'd be there for us. Like she'd tell us later, yeah, you were wrong, but she literally like she didn't play. And so I can tell you a story. My sister, when we first moved down here, they had a parents' day at school.
Okay.
There's a boy pushes my sister down the slide.
Okay.
My mom grabs the kid, spanks him, and they told her, Miss Benton, you can't come back to parent day anymore. So,
You're banned.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, family, no doubt.
That being said, I'm the same way. So my mom, both my parents work. So me and my sister were home. I raised her. We we were home a lot together. So same thing. My sister, I think she was in middle school. Some boy punched her. So I got on the bus and I slapped him.
Yo.
And it was crazy. The cops came, but my mom still had my back. She's like,
Right.
You know? So that's how
Family.
we're family. Yeah.
Unity. No doubt. Let me take it to you travel Dubai, England, going all these countries. What is it like having a supportive wife like Kimberly, you know, in your corner?
And nothing better. She understands, you know. So
Word.
I wouldn't be with anybody else, you know. She's got my she's we're together, you know. So no matter what, and she understands. A lot of times she doesn't even know where I'm going.
Right.
She's like, or if I'm leaving, I'm like, I'm leaving tomorrow. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I told you. She just forgets because she knows I leave all the time. So,
Right.
but yeah, there's nothing. She's the best woman in the world. So I wouldn't trade her for anything.
Go ahead. I'm gonna give it to you, man, because I'm a
I mean, hey, like I said, my stuff is just, you know, it's boxing related. You know what I mean? You wanted to dig into his, you know, into Robert Benton. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We know, you know, I know Bobcat. So I mean, you know, it was Robert before it was Bobcat. You know
yeah.
what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So I mean, I got more questions. Like,
Hey, let them flow. Let them
You know
flow.
what I'm
Let them
saying?
flow. Because before the world knew him, because you know what I'm saying, like I told you I want to do it like this. You know, before the world knew him, his family knew him. Is, you know, Lil Bobby, you know, whatever they called him. But we got to know Bobcat. So before he was this outstanding trainer,
World renowned. Trainer.
he was the man that you are introducing him to. I mean, that you are introducing the world to. So
Okay,
hey,
so
keep letting it unfold.
I hear you a baller, like, and not like a little bit, but like serious.
I can play a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so
He always say that, man. He always say you can
those
play a
are
little
the
bit
ones that got skills that
until
be
he
like-
get you on the court
Yeah.
and bust your ass and be like, nah, I can play. And there ain't no little bit, man.
that modesty.
There ain't no
I
little bit,
already
man.
know what it is.
There ain't no little bit.
Okay, so who is your Mount Rushmore of basketball players? And second question, who is the GOAT?
My favorite player is Allen Iverson.
Ooh, okay.
Just to me, yeah, because he was. I mean, he was my height and doing the stuff he did.
Right.
You know, just and special. But the GOAT's Michael Jordan. It's not even close.
Okay. All right.
You can keep running.
All right.
Who's your GOAT? Hold on, let's.
My GOAT?
Yeah.
MJ, all the way.
All right, good.
All the way. I mean, I'm an 80s baby.
You better
so
not say LeBron. I was gonna kick you off the podcast, man.
Nah. Come on, man. I grew up in the 80s when he whooped on the Knicks. You know, like, come on, you know? So Michael Jordan for sure. No competition. Let me give you this a good one. Okay, so are there any signs when you're training somebody that you might have a future world champion on your hands?
Yeah, but you could think that, and a lot of times it doesn't happen. So, I don't know. I feel like getting the chance is the biggest thing.
Okay.
You know, like, can we get them to that spot where they have a chance to showcase it? I think that's what I'm good at.
Mm.
You know, taking the time, not rushing them. You know, the patience is a big part of it. And when they get there, that's when you find out. You know, everybody can say, "Oh yeah, it's a future world champion," but how many of those have they said, "This guy's the next," and turned out to be nothing?
Right. When how do I want to word this? Okay, so say you were training back in, you know, Sugar Ray's, that era. Who would be the four boxers that you would have liked to work with?
Well, Hagler's my favorite fighter. So
Okay.
that was for sure him. Ali was special.
Okay.
Duran had so much just natural fighting ability.
Mm-hmm.
and then Ray Leonard.
All right, cool. All right, that's pretty much it for me, man.
Well, that was it for you.
Yeah. I mean, I could keep going, but I'm not gonna. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, we good. We good. We good. Wow.
Don't get all choked up now. Let's go.
Exactly.
No, because this, like I said, it's been a long time coming, and I've been telling you that, like, man, if there's one person who we gotta get on the podcast, it's got to be Bobby.
How did you meet Seth? Let me ask that. How did this come about? That's what yeah. That
We're
whole
gonna get into the story.
Oh, you gonna tell it?
We
All
gonna
right,
get
go
into the
ahead,
story.
because I wanna
We
know,
gonna get
like,
into the story.
because
So-
Crack and Craig, you seem to, like, get boxers and to come, be on your squad. So how does that work? Like, Go ahead.
I don't get anybody to come. I've never asked a fighter to come here.
No, I don't mean like you. I just feel like, like what I spoke about earlier, your personality, that likability about you gets people to want to come. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like you out there fishing for sure. Nah.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Nah.
But also, if it's one thing I can say that Bobby did that was great, that, I mean, I worked with other trainers and they didn't do it. But I only had a handful of trainers throughout my career that I can count on one hand, literally. But if it's one thing that he did that made him stand out with me was Bobby. He has always, you know what I'm saying, he don't have no problem, critiquing you, but he liked to learn as well. So if y'all working on something for a fight, or if y'all just working on just y'all technique drills in the ring, and he see you do something that helps that little part of your arsenal just a little bit, and he see you just like naturally shine, just, maybe it can be a step over, maybe it can be a slip after a certain combination. He'd be like, yeah, use that,
Highlight.
Yeah. So if he was telling you 1-2 pull back 2, and you throw 1-2 pull back 2 slip under, yeah, use that. Let's work on that. Use that. It's other trainers who will be like, no, stick to what I'm telling you. No, but Bobby, he's okay with seeing that you are learning, you are picking up what he's saying, and just implementing certain things in your game plan is gonna help you just elevate even more. Like, that's one thing I can say that he done that was, you know what I'm saying, like, was great. And then also he's relatable, he's very he's goofy. He make training fun. But with me, it's like I said, you heard it from Craig. A lot of people, even when I trained with Sam, a lot of people, I don't know, Bobby might have his, he might have his own says. A lot of people said that, like, once they got to meet me outside the gym and just in a different setting, they're like, man, I didn't know you could talk.
100%. Everything is no.
Yeah. So they were like, I didn't know you could talk. It's like my first time training with my first time ever going to train with Sam Colonna. I went to train with him after I won the Golden Gloves, and then he worked with me. And once he heard me talk, he was like, he started scratching his head. And he was like, and he came to me, but he had this look of worry in his face, and I was like, what's up? He was like, because Sam seen me since I was 8 years old up until I was like 17, 18. And he was like, man, for a long time, you scared the hell out of me. I was like, why? He was like, you never said anything. He was like, I thought you and your brother was deaf. He said, because the only thing he said, I'll say hi to y'all, speak to y'all. The only thing you'll do is nod your head and just wave. That's it.
Wow.
But I'm like, no, I talk. My thing was, I treated the gym like, it's my sanctuary. I come in here. I'm not here to make friends. Now, if after we get done working out, we chop it up, that's cool. But while I'm working out, don't bother me. I'm here to
Put in the work.
Yeah, I'm here to put in the work and perfect my craft. I don't need you messing with me because I'm working on something up here. You know what I'm saying? So it can reflect in the ring. So I came to the gym, I worked out, and so happened that when I'm done working out, I'm ready to go home. So I don't got no time to talk to nobody. So so that's how I treated the gym. But a lot of people who met me outside the gym, they be like, yeah, man, I didn't know you can talk.
Wow.
I didn't know you talk like that. I know you was very vocal. Like, yeah. Once you meet me outside, these parameters, I talk.
Now you got a podcast.
Yeah.
doing a whole lot of talking.
So yeah, that's me. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
But all right, this just a personal question. I don't know. You can answer it. You can not. What would you say was your biggest headache working with me?
Be honest, Bobby.
Not letting your hands go off.
And that's one thing I wanted to get into because I don't know. Like it was like like they say, boxing is like they say 60% mental. I say boxing is like 80%
I'd
mental.
say more.
Yeah,
I'd say like once you've got the physical assets to do it, a lot of guys don't.
Yeah.
You got fight in you.
Yeah.
But overcoming that mental part of it is it's not easy.
Would you agree that letting your hands go a little more would have been?
Most definitely, because it's like the side of me that him and Sam, and other trainers I work with, the side of me they see in the gym, they like that's world champion material. That's
Right.
that's like he's no, without a doubt, he's gonna be a world champion. But I didn't mirror that. I didn't show that in fights.
Why do you think that was?
It's mental, man. It's mental. Sometimes it's things in that you are trying to break free from up here, and you hold back. My thing is, we on the big stage, displaying our talent. That fear of getting embarrassed in front of millions of people. You got your family watching, and you just want to be the best you without getting touched. But you know what I mean? It's like going outside while it's raining and expecting not to get wet. You're in a fight, and you're fighting the best. You're gonna get touched. I just didn't want to get stopped, knocked out, embarrassed. So I didn't want to get caught because as an amateur, I got caught. I know what that feel like, and I think the reason me not letting my hands maybe stems from the amateurs in the fight that I got. It was the only fight. I only lost 5 amateur fights out of about 115. But this one particular fight, I was given some instructions. I did those instructions that my coach told me to do, and it led me to getting stopped. And I told myself that I would never let that happen again. And so
safety.
Yeah, so I put up these mental barriers in my head to basically protect me from getting exposed like that again. So sometimes instead of letting my hands go, because in spurts, when if I'm in there and I know I'm way better than you, you're not even on the same level, I shine on you. But when I feel like
There's that competition there.
the Kovalevs, the Dmitry Bivens, when I feel like it's real competition in front of me, I shell up a little bit. You know what I mean? Because
that's hard to say.
Yeah.
A lot of fighters won't say what he just said right there. So
Right.
It's
and I know that was, to me, that was my biggest thing. Cause you got certain fighters who some of they what do you call it, crutches or bad things that they dabble in is drinking. Some do drugs. Told my wife, mine was women. Tried to free my hand of them, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
Mine was women, but I never let women distract me from the main goal. But it was also like breaking free of those mental barriers and shackles that I placed around myself.
Is there anything that you could do as a trainer when not saying you knew, but when you see someone has something like that, maybe I think, what was it, Phil Jackson, wasn't they doing Zen with the bull? I'm not sure. I think it was the Lakers where they were
no, it was the Bulls.
It was the Bulls.
Yeah, they were doing yoga, something. Yoga
yeah. So, and you guys got yoga here now, right?
Yeah.
So, wouldn't something like that kind of help the fighters in a mental arena?
For me, it's trying to figure them out. It's learning the fighter, and like he said, all these guys are different. Their minds are all different. So figure out what triggers them, what makes them fire, what makes them slow down, and that's the hardest part of this, trying to figure these guys out.
Right.
But if you can get them to open up to you, as Seth just did right now, but I didn't get any of that when he was,
Most definitely. Yeah.
So
I
didn't know.
Yeah.
Had he told me that when we were training, it might have been different. It might not. It may have been the same, but still, it might have been different.
Right.
Might have tried some different stuff or
Most definitely.
try to break through. I'm always down for, trying to make people better. So
Sure.
It's like for the main part, like as a fighter, right? You are bred, fight, and you build up this ego, and you don't want that ego to be, damaged or in any way. So you build up this complex, like you like you that,
Shit, yeah.
like you that,
Himothy.
yeah,
becomes
yeah,
your identity.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes admitting your flaws shows that you are human. You don't want to be looked at as human. Like I'm different.
Yeah.
And
Man,
admitting
that's gotta be so hard.
and admitting that like he said, opening up to Bobby, telling him like just going to him as a man, as one of his fighters, like, yo, like I'm dealing with something up here. That's hard.
Yeah.
And basically you try to suppress those thoughts
Mm-hmm.
and just keep fighting, because you're taught, like I told you, I started this since I started competing at 8. I started this like at 6-7 years old. And you and growing up in, I don't know how other households is, but growing up in the black household, you cry, shut up, be tough, stop crying.
Yeah.
You're taught to be tough, be tough, be tough. So when you have these thoughts in your head that maybe some in the boxing community might label as soft, when you know it ain't coming, it's coming out, you close it back in. You know what I mean? And you don't tell someone what you're dealing with. And that might be the thing that's holding you back from achieving greatness in your career. But
For sure.
you hold back and you keep suppressing it because you fear of being real. You fear of being human. And you feel like if you take a hit like that to your ego, it might change you in some way.
Yeah.
It might expose certain things about you. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be seen as that. I'm seen as a fighter. If I'm going through tough times, hey, toughen up. You're gonna be all right. Toughen up. Get right. I don't want to be seen as soft, and that's how it was with me. I didn't want to admit the things that I was dealing with. This was like maybe about 5-6 years ago when I went to Chicago. When I went to Chicago and I stopped at my old trainer, Jim, Sam, and he wanted to start back working with me. He was like, I know what you're dealing with. I was like, nonchalantly, like what you talking about? He was like, no, I said, you don't let your hands go enough. Like, you're preaching to a choir. It's not like you're saying something I never heard before. He was like, nah, this stems from your amateur career. He was like, that one fight when you was with that trainer who basically didn't know what he was doing, and you got stopped. Ever since then, he was like, I seen something change in you. And he was right, because I fought a lot of his fighters in the amateurs, and I knocked every last one of them out. Sam never liked going up against me. I stopped all his guys from going to the Golden Glove Nationals. I stopped all his guys from going to the Junior Olympic Nationals. I was his roadblock from reaching that level in the amateurs with any of his guys. And when he said that to me, I stopped and I sat down and
Light bulb went off.
Damn, and I just thought back to that particular fight. I know the guy name and everything. I know.
Go ahead,
exactly
shout him out.
I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. Hey. I might be a man. I ain't
Shout him out.
I ain't giving nobody no credit.
Hey, yo.
No. YouTube gonna do what they gonna do. They gonna do their Googles anyway.
We go find him.
No, but you know, and I just built up this thing inside me. Like I said, you know, I don't want that to happen again. But I also told myself, like, you know, nobody will know about this. I'm gonna deal with this. You know.
I want to know. Do trainers go through mental like what do
Of course.
yeah?
Yes. I mean, you're listen. It's you're doing the same thing, especially for me. Like I said, I hate to lose.
Right.
I hate to lose more than I like to win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sore loser.
Right. Same.
So when you have any little doubt or something goes wrong in camp, like okay, for instance, said, and to his defense, he had a lot of injuries. His elbows were bothering him before the Kovalev fight. He never said one word to me. He broke his rib. Yeah. So I find out from the massage therapist that his rib was messed up after the fight. I'm like, said what? He's like, I don't want to say nothing. You know? So that's you know, not knowing is and then when you have injuries and stuff in every camp, there's something that happens, right?
Right.
So you have those doubts, like what if that happens? What if he can't throw his left hand? What if he can't do this? So
Right.
those doubts are there, but typically once we get to the fight, those thoughts are gone. Like it's just work now.
Right.
It's like, all right, we're here now. Like tell him what he needs to hear. You know. So the thoughts are beforehand.
And in that, no, it's just like goes back to what I was saying. Like in the Kovalev fight, like I didn't, you know, I didn't, you know, I wasn't forthcoming with that information about my ribs because you know all the work we put in.
Yeah.
You know all the doors we were trying to knock down. You know all the people that kept putting in our way to beat this person, beat that person, beat this person. And we like, man, we here now. Like the fights that y'all want to give us, they don't want to fight us because they looking at it like it's a high risk, low reward type fight. So they don't want to fight me. So then we get presented with this opportunity to fight for the WBO world title. And it's not fighting for a vacant title. It's fighting the champion,
Right.
Sergey Kovalev. And, you know, throughout the preparation for that fight, man, I was energy, my hype, everything was through the roof. When I got that injury, and like I said, I know exactly who did it. But, you know, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that.
Google's behind you.
But when that happened, like I said, the reason I didn't say nothing for two reasons. For one, I never had injured ribs before. So as a fighter, you know, I never had broke ribs. I never knew anybody who had broke ribs. And plus I didn't have anyone who I can talk to who dealt with, you know, a broken rib problem. So I thought it was like a tendon or something. I'm like, it's a tendon or ligament. So I put some KT tape on. I'm like, I'll be all right. And I continued to spar with it and spar with it. It made it worse and worse and worse. And I didn't say anything because I'm like, yo, we worked so hard to get here. If I tell them, they're going to pull me out the fight. And this opportunity might not ever come across again. We might have about 10 more fights before we get another chance like this.
How does that work? They so like say you told Bobby and he's gonna like take you to someone to get like checked and then they gonna okay it or
checking with a rib injury.
It's a wrap.
Well, what happens is like if I would have told Bobby was gonna tell his dad was my manager, and they was gonna pull me out the fight. He can't fight. And now I gotta sit up until this rib heal. That means no sparring, no tough training that's gonna, you know,
and no paycheck.
Yeah. I mean, but it wasn't most to me that Kovalev fight. It wasn't about the paycheck. It was about, to me, after all fights, it was never about the money. It's about being known. When I stepped into this game, doing it as an amateur, you're not doing it for the belts and for the titles. I'm doing it for the recognition. You know what I mean? So it wasn't, the Kovalev fight wasn't about the money. Beating Kovalev, you know where that would have put me? So I'm thinking like that. And I went into it with that complex like, I'm untouchable. Yeah, I got this, but can't nobody touch me. You know, I'm unstoppable. This ain't gonna affect me in the fight.
You're a real fighter. That's all it is. I mean, it's when you do stuff like that, you're. It's easy. So many guys cop out even when nothing's wrong.
Yeah,
As like the fear, like he said, but guys will pull out of fights just because that fear, like, oh, I hurt my hand or I hurt my, I'm said he's a real fighter, so he was, no matter what, he was going to the fight.
Yeah. We seen. We were just in Tennessee, and we didn't see some pullouts. What was dude? I ain't even gonna call you out, man. But
I told him because we going to the fights that's on June 5th. I'm like, look, we ain't gonna see some of the things that were displayed, but I'm like, some of the things I seen displayed, like a guy not even get hit and just fall down, and start breathing.
it was
heavy.
a phantom punch.
I'm like,
He
hold
didn't
up.
even get hit.
You didn't get hit, and that was my that was my wife's first time seeing a professional fight. I think that was your second time,
Second time, yeah.
but first time up close like that, right?
Nah, I seen it at the Sugar Land. Pro Box, those are professionals, right?
Yeah.
What was
yeah,
that? He was
yeah.
called Pro Box.
No,
right?
no, that was
what was it
that's
called?
next fight up.
Next fight up.
Yeah.
Is that? I think
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
right.
fights,
But
yeah.
and my wife asked me, she was like, "So boxing's like wrestling?" I said, "Oh no!" I said, "Don't throw the smut on boxing like that. Don't do us like that." I said, "No, man. You get some guys who
Seth
just
was out there with the
I said, no. You get some guys out there, man, who just, you know what I'm saying, like, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Like that's what you pay for. These guys ain't gonna be no world champion. They ain't gonna be no challengers. Like,
you get people who are supposed to spar, jump out windows.
Oh yeah.
oh, I told you. They don't want to spar.
Yeah, that was,
Guys
that was
be,
one of
guys
the
be
funny
scared.
stories.
I could not. When I was doing my research on you, I'm like, that's someone literally jumped out the window because they didn't want to spar.
Yes, 100%. I mean, there's no other way he could have got out of here.
And you said in the interview he was pretty good.
Oh,
Like
good.
he was like,
yeah, you watch him hit the bags, pads, shadow box, good talent, had some amateur fights. But every time I would tell him he was going to spar, he wouldn't show up. So when he walked in one day, I said, "You're sparring today." He goes, "All right." He walked back to the locker room. And I'm sitting on the ring. And half hour go by, and I'm like, bro, like, so I walk back in the locker room. He's not there. And I'm walking around the gym. I'm like you know how it is upstairs. You can't get out of there, right? Because we used to come in the back door. Now we come in the front door. But that was just one way in, one way out. And I'm literally walking around the gym. So Hollywood, Chris is there. Chris says, "Who are you looking for?" I said, "So-and-so." He said, "Bro, he's gone." I said, "He can't be gone." He goes, "Nah, bro." He goes, "When I pulled up, he was running to his car."
Wow. Wow.
So, yeah.
Man.
Wow.
You get that a lot in boxing, though. Like
fear?
like the jumping out of the windows. I ain't. That's my first
my
time.
mouthpiece.
Yeah, you
I
get
got
the
my
my
gloves.
mouthpiece.
Yeah,
I got my
that's the
glove.
biggest one.
I don't have a cup.
Yeah.
Cause I forgot my headgear. Those are a lot of the ones you get.
That's why I respect my daughter, man. Because like when we took her to box, and like she, I think it was her third or fourth day, and then they sparred, and she was like, she really didn't want to do it, but she ended up getting in the ring anyway and doing it. I just had so much respect for her because was 12 at the time. I'm like, yo, man, like, yeah. So
It takes
yeah,
easy to climb through those ropes, man, for anybody.
for real.
A lot of people won't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
So
What you got for him?
working with fighters like Regis Prograis, Oshaki Foster, Miguel Flores, Austin Trout, man, hey, me, the list go on and on and on and on and on, man. Ups and downs in this game. What gives you that passion to just keep doing it? Because it's a lot of trainers who, have a lot of falls, have more downs than ups and walk away from the sport. But you've been doing it since you was 18 years old.
I love it. I mean, I love every part of it. Like, I still do everything. So you see, I still run the stairs. I still do sprints. I still run. Everything is.
Pause real quick.
Yeah.
I got to say that this is the only trainer I have ever trained with, amateur, pros, whatever. It's the only trainer that works out with his fighters. If his fighter got to lose weight, they got to fight. Before wins, they got to cut those 2 little extra pounds, they got to go in the sauna. Guess who in the sauna with you? He in there with you.
I seen them getting in.
Yeah.
Him and Regis was swimming.
He in
in
there
some,
with
like
you.
late. I'm like,
If you gotta, cause in fighting, you know what I'm saying, like the day before the weigh-in, we call it like drying out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't eat for that day.
he not eating. Either?
He not eating. He not eating.
Wow.
No,
That's dope.
he's like.
Nah, that's dope.
I can't eat in my fighter's face knowing that. You know what I'm saying? He's going through this.
That's
no,
dope.
he gonna tough it out. He's gonna tough it out with you. That's one thing I can say that set Bobby apart from all these other trainers. All these other trainers, I'm like, hey man, make the weight while they're over there eating a sandwich, some chips. You know what I'm saying? Make the weight while you in the sauna sweating. Yeah, so he come back on the door. You got 10 more minutes. You know what I'm saying? No, Bobby in there with you. You know what I'm saying? Shadow boxing, just chilling with you. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know, he's a trainer that goes through it with his fighters. That's what set him aside from all these other trainers, man. He's not only going to teach you, like he's prime example. He's not a trainer. He's a teacher. He done taught me a lot of stuff throughout my career. In and outside them ropes, man. So no, Bobby, he's like I said, man, and I ain't gonna stop saying it. He's definitely a future Hall of Famer in this sport. And like I said, he's still a young trainer in this game. You know, he's a young trainer in this game, man. I mean, like, so he's still to this day making his imprint because he's still training and working with future champions, world champions in this sport.
So the love is always there. It never wavers. You never get to the like this shit is, you know.
Yeah, there's messed up times in everything, but in life in general. Think about
Most def.
everybody from their job, from if you're a mailman or there's always problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I love what I do. I don't consider it work. Like I still I love it. I love it just as much as I did when I started. So
Wow.
once that goes away, yeah, maybe I'll do something else. You know.
Would you consider your training career a success?
Yes, but I still got work to do. Like
Okay.
I feel like I'm not done. I got a lot of work to do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so for me it's not about like I just want to win. I don't care. Like I don't even need to be on the camera.
Right.
I can stand in the back and let somebody else go. Like there's people that just want to stand there and be on camera and be on Showtime, be on like that doesn't I don't even care about that. Like at the end of the day when we raise our hand, that's all I care about. And then I'm ready to go home. I literally, if there's a way to get home right after the fight, I'm going home. There's a red eye. If I can drive, I'm gone. Guys be like, come hang out. Let's go party. I'm like,
nah.
Yeah, I'll meet you there. Like, going straight home.
Right.
You know, I'm all boxing. What would you say was your biggest worry or what would you say your biggest worry was when it came to us getting ready for that Bivol fight?
Well, honestly, I didn't think Bivol was as good as he was. That was for me. It's like when we got in there that night, and it's different when you're there. Because watching, and that's happened several times with me. Watching video, you don't see it really, but he was special. So we found out that night,
Right.
And Aaron and I both sat and watched the video. We're like, he's okay. He's nothing, he doesn't do everything, but he was better than I thought. So I really felt like we had a good chance to win that fight too.
Yeah. And honestly, like when they presented us with that fight, like I said, I'm a fighter. I'll fight anybody. I never duck or dodge nobody. I didn't want the Bivol fight, to be honest. I didn't want that fight.
He wasn't a name yet, right?
He was starting to make a name. He's WBA champion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't because he was Russian. He wasn't Kovalev.
Right.
But he was being groomed to be that next Russian star.
Look at him now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a. I mean, I don't know. For me, he's probably one of the hardest guys to fight.
Yeah.
Like Lara, they're snipers. You can't. It's hard to hit them. Almost damn near impossible to hit them, and then they just light you up. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
And going back to what I was saying, but I didn't want that fight because like we were trying to fight like the the Marcus Browns and the guys like that. And I didn't want that fight because I'm like, for me, we don't have the right sparring partner to get ready for this guy. And then, like I told people, in the past, I'm like, honestly, I mean, you spoke about it, but I definitely underestimated Bivol. I say, this guy's not on my level. This guy, I'm like, he can't punch because Bivol wasn't getting knocked out like that. I said, he can't punch. He's not as fast as me. And I said, I fought the toughest Russian they got already. I fought the toughest Russian. He's not even on Kovalev level. Those are all the things I told myself.
Me too.
When he dropped me, I think that was the first and second round. When he dropped me and I came back to the corner, your exact words was, "Can he punch?" I looked at you, I said, "Yeah." Yeah. Hey, that motherfucker was cracking. I said, yeah. I definitely underestimated, man. And how he was throwing his punches.
Yeah, it was weird.
He was throwing them to always put himself out of position for you can hit him back. He's like a master at distance. So
Wow.
and you never could pick up on his time. And he was fast. He was faster than I thought. He punched harder than I thought. And his ring IQ was just amazing. But I never want to fight that motherfucker. I said no, we ain't got the right sparring partner. But we sparred the guys that we sparred to get ready for the fight. And I got like a fighter, I went into it like I'm gonna beat this guy. And even in the weigh-ins, Bivol didn't look confident in the weigh-ins. His trainer had to like, hey, what are you doing? Like, get more amped up, man. I'm in the weigh-ins. I'm like, I'm about to crush this dude. Who was I wrong? Because he was special, man. He was special.
Yeah,
he was
he's a special fighter.
Man.
He's
definitely
a special fighter. Yeah, for sure.
He could be the most dangerous guy out there right now for anybody.
Yeah, man. What do you think about them two fights he had with I don't know, Better Be or what do you think?
I mean, I feel like to me personally, I felt like he won both fights.
Thank you. That's what I said. That's what I said. I said I'm with you.
Was it a robbery? No.
Right.
Robbery's shot when he fought Conceição first time.
Yeah.
That's a robbery. That was like that fight was nobody in the world thought that
At all.
lost that fight. So, but did I? That's how I felt. I felt like Bivol won both fights.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And I gave seeing it for the first time, I gave Bivol the first fight. Rewatching it with the volume off, no, I gave it to Better Beef. I felt like he pressed the fight. I felt like he landed the more cleaner punches. But like I said, it was one of those fights that it was really a toss up. It can go either way. The second fight, yes, he won hands down. Bivol is.
The commentary a lot of times can throw you off.
Yeah.
They say it doesn't, but it definitely can.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I watch stuff and I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, like it was the Madrimov and Bud Crawford. I ended up rewatching that, and he definitely clearly won that fight. But the commentators were talking like Madrimov was like winning the fight. I'm like, nah.
So, talked about the past, let's talk about the present. We got you and Lou Savarese returning with the Bayou, what was it called? The
Bayou City Event Center.
Bayou City Event Center. Well, I fought on plenty of their shows, knocked out plenty of guys. They throw a hell of events, hell of fights there. So who's all fighting on this card?
We got Miguel Flores. He's working his way back to fighting for the world title again.
Okay.
And then we have Eduardo Garcia, who's a good amateur, and also he's a firefighter. So, but he can really fight.
Okay.
He's a real fighter. And then Isaac Torres, who is an alternate on the Olympic team. A special guy, really special guy. His biggest problem is though can't get his weight down. But he's a real fighter. And then Lazaro Diaz is a young, upcoming. He's 4-0, and he's the hardest working guy in the gym. He's like Agnew. He's here. He's the first one here, last one to leave. Like he's here when everybody's leaving. He's still here working.
Wow.
He's a beast.
Oh, I look forward to seeing him fight then. True indeed.
Yeah, no, we definitely gonna be front and center. But yeah, I mean, if you got any more questions?
Thursday, June 5th,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. At first, I thought it was Saturday, but I was like, damn, I forgot that they always did throw their shows on Thursdays. So yeah, it's Thursday. Had any more things for them? Good. All right, we good. I would like to say thanks, Bobby. You know what I'm saying, for giving me this interview, this sit down. But it was definitely much needed because you can't have the backstory without this man right here. Like I said, and I came down here at as a pro 11-0, and we got all the way to what, like 26, 27-0. Yeah, till we fought Kovalev. So no, this man right here is the one who guided me and instructed me to that. And
You had more to do it than I did.
but you know what I'm saying, like winning. That's why I give credit to world champions, because they're not just giving these titles away. I had to fight for the WBC Continental title. I had to fight for the USBA title. These titles, you have to fight somebody for them to put you in position to fight for those world titles. And but like I said, he guided me through that, and instructed me to go out there with a great game plan, and we executed every single night. But like I said, thank you for the interview, thank you for the sit down, and thank you for doing all you have done for me in my career. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
I want to give you your flowers, man.
Definitely,
but like
definitely.
being the trainer you are, you know what I'm saying, and working, building the champions you've built, having the love for it, and seeming to instill that in your fighters. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like you deserve your flowers, man. So thank you for what you do for boxing.
Thank you.
And that's that.